She does everything for her body, and I mean everything, you know? She sacrifices for it, morning, noon, and night. And it shows. It shows. She does the step aerobics, a class in the morning, then leads another at night. And somewhere in there she runs 2 miles every day, for toning, she says. And she plays around with silver dumbbells while she listens to music, for definition, she says. 4,000 stomach crunches a day. 4,000 for the abs. Can't overlook the abs. The abs are the foundation of everything, she says. So she's got toning and definition on top of what God gave her. And God, I will say, was generous. God did not stint. She is in shape. She's in great shape. She is a shape, a prototype, and she knows it. She's young, she's got that glow of youth, and she's pretty. She may not be beautiful, I'll let you be the judge, to each his own, but she is at the very least pretty, attractive. No matter what your taste, you could not possibly miss her. She's short, around 5 feet, which only proves the adage about small packages. The way she carries herself is fantastic, not rigid, more like sprung, wound up, but not too tight. You know how some people look like they're dragging their bodies through the day? Not her. She looks like she's leading a parade. Her body's made of flubber. She's got nice hair, not big hair, but nice hair. Sometimes she will say that her hair is her worst feature, but when she says that, she's looking at you confessionally, she's serious, and the only possible thing you can be thinking is, wow, if that's your worst feature. She takes care of herself, too. Wears a fresh perfume, nothing heavy, and light accents with the makeup, just enough to emphasize her femininity. And her diet is all the nutritional stuff, the fruits and vegetables, mostly eaten raw, lean meats, none of the snack foods, no pop, she won't do it, and only an occasional light beer. And she's a nice kid, too, don't get me wrong. She's almost always smiling and up for a good time. She's got this mischievous look, loves to party, and she's no dummy either. Majors in marketing, on the dean's list. And did I mention that she's got like gray eyes, I guess, a smoky color with a little bit of yellow in them, depending on, I don't know, the light maybe. But overall, not trying to sound sexist or vulgar or anything, just stating a fact, it's her body that you notice first because it's just outstanding. And it ought to be because she really works on it. And she couldn't possibly be offended if you noticed it, because part of the reason she does all that is so she'll be noticed, no question about it. She's won a couple of bikini contests, the ones they have in bars or in those water slide amusement parks. I saw her win one once. They had to get up on a stage and dance too, and she absolutely blew the crowd away. About 1,000 horny guys. And as far as every one of them was concerned, there was her, and then there was everybody else. Or nobody else. And I do mean nobody, all the other girls. Because she was just in a league of her own. I remembered she danced to Rod Stewart singing Hot Legs. And when she started, everybody was screaming and shouting, real rowdy. And as soon as she got into it, everybody shut up. Nobody could believe it. They were goggle-eyed. She was just awesome. I know the word has been beat to death, but that's what she was. And when she finished, everybody cheered. They roared and started chanting her name. Shelley, Shelley, Shelley. I can't say I know her all that well. I mean, I know her pretty well. We're in the same psych class, but not intimately. We've never really talked or gone out or anything like that. Not that I haven't thought about it. You see this girl, and believe me, you think about it. You can't think about anything else. You think about what she looks like and you think about doing it with her. You can't help it. Even old guys, she walks by, you can see them look after her and you know darn well what they're thinking. Jesus, what would that be like? The reason I know her at all is because my buddy and roommate Randy is her boyfriend. And naturally that really blows my mind. It would blow anybody's mind. The thought of being her boyfriend, of having direct access to those goods, it's too much. And everybody who knows him thinks that Randy is the luckiest guy in the world. I know I did. They all say, without exception, you lucky so-and-so, and they go off wondering what the hell it is that Randy has that they don't, besides her. I mean, how could a guy be so lucky? Because this girl is unbelievable, unreal. We're into fantasy material, okay? Randy is my friend. I don't exactly want to come right out and ask him what it's like, but of course I do. I'm dying to know. I want to know what it's like. Anybody would. So I'm always asking Randy, like what he did last night with Shell, or, I don't know, any excuse I can think of to get him to open up and give me the goddamn blow-by-blow. But he never takes the hint. He just says, oh, we went to a show, or we just hung out, or nothing much, some studying. And naturally I'm nodding my head, pretending not to care and thinking, oh yeah, right, Randy, you selfish mother. Nothing much. Give me a freaking break. Nothing much. One day Randy gets sick. I mean, so sick that he goes over to the health center and checks in for the day. He's really wiped. They tell him it's a flu thing that's all over campus. And later that day, Shell stops by. She's looking for Randy. I tell her he's okay, but he's out of commission for a while, the flu. She frowns and says they were going to the beach up at Friar Lake. Am I doing anything? Do I want to go? Jesus, I've got a lump in my throat that feels like a baseball, and my tongue is thick and stupid as a calf muscle that was grafted into my mouth. I say, oh gee, I don't know, Shell, I gotta study. She laughs and says, bring your books, I'm studying too. I say, okay, maybe I should let Randy know. I say that to silence the alarms that are going off in my head. She says, okay, she'll go buy some beer, and I can tell Randy. I'm wondering how the beer fits in with the studying as I go over to the health center, wondering how I'm going to work this. I ask Randy how he's feeling, and he says lousy. I tell him Shell came by. She wanted to go to the lake, and maybe she would still go, and I'd go along too, along with some other people. This was not a total lie. There would be other people at the lake. There always are. It's a popular hangout. Yeah, Randy said. You go ahead and have a good time. Leave me here to suffer. You sure you don't mind? I asked him. He laughed and said, nah, go ahead. I walked out of there thinking, Randy, friend, roomie, I gave you your chance. We go up to the lake. It's not a bad day, and we split a beer on the way. She drives, and the whole way there I'm thinking, this is Randy's girl, Randy's girl, Randy's girl. I would never, ever try anything with the girl of my best buddy. Ever. And that's true. Randy and I, we are true pals, been through a lot together, thick and thin. I would never go behind his back. I'm thinking, working this loyal, the true and faithful friend line for all it's worth. But all the time, this huge thought is floating in the air like it's lit up in neon on a billboard. Unless I get the opportunity. I mean, if she throws herself at me, I'm not going to turn this down because this is the chance of a lifetime. I've got enough sense to realize that. All the way up, I do my best not to look at her, at the goods. We get to the lake and she spreads a beach towel the size of Rhode Island, then takes off her t-shirt and shorts, and she's wearing this tiny skin bikini, and her perfect toned, tanned, defined, definitive body is right there beside me in all its glory. There are the goods. I nearly faint. I know you think I'm exaggerating, but I nearly fainted. I had dizziness, shortness of breath, a dryness in the throat and mouth, lights sparking in front of my eyes, an inability to focus, all the classic fainting symptoms. Looking back, I think it was due to a lack of oxygen to the brain. All the blood in my body, all 10 quarts or whatever, was rushing elsewhere, leaving my brain like a theater where somebody yells fire. And she says, let's study. Okay, I get out the books, we'll study. But I can't concentrate. I'm human. I was not interested in conjugating Spanish verbs. I wanted to conjugate Shelley. But Randy is my friend and blah, 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 blah. You've been through that. The sun is warm, and after a while she says, I'm sleepy. And she lets her book close, lays her head down, and shuts her eyes. Then she reaches in back of her, I swear to God, unties the top of her suit and says, rub some oil on me, will you, Jeff? There is nobody else around. There was a woman and some young kids, but they're gone. I want to say, God, yes, I'll rub some oil on you, Shelley. I'll rub oil on you till the sun sets and the men from outer space arrive driving 55 Chevrolets. I'll rub oil on you like oil has never been rubbed on anyone. But instead I say, where is it? My voice sounds like something that comes out of a cartoon mouse. In my bag, she says. I find it, flip the top, squirt some in my hand. It's baby oil, not suntan lotion. I rub it between my hands and touch her magic bare skin. And she says, ooh. To myself, but out loud, you know what I mean, in a solemn, formal oath, I tell Randy that I love him like a brother, but I am no longer to be held responsible for whatever happens. And I hope to God it happens. I'm trying to figure out a way to make it happen. I have a great time rubbing her back. I fall in love with her back, her neck, her shoulders, the little scooped out hollow just above her butt, then her legs, her sculpted legs. I mean, I am way off on a tangent. I have left reality far behind. It's like I'm waxing the coolest car in the world, and I have got my eyes closed, and I'm dreaming about holding her, rocking in her arms, and she's groaning with pleasure, and the groans are partly in my mind, partly coming from her, and I feel like one of those atomic bombs in those super spy movies, where the bomb is armed and this LED clock begins clicking off the seconds until it explodes. I'm totally primed. I'm set to go off. I'm reduced or elevated, whichever it is, to a completely sexual animal. I exist only for that purpose. That's good, she says, and she sits up, grabbing at the strings behind her back, tying them together again. That was really good, she says. Very relaxing. Thank you, Jeff. Want me to do you? She's looking at me, smiling, and I'm looking at her. I mean eye contact, but I'm also looking at her, that body, the whole package, the goods. She's kneeling and she just looks, I don't know, fantastic, edible, and I've got to say something. This is the moment. This is it. Wow, I say. Shelley, honest to God, you are so hot. Yeah, I know it's not inventive. I know it's the stupidest thing in the world I could have said probably, but I don't care. If she doesn't go for it, fine. We can laugh it off. If it works, I'm in there. I figure we won't come up for air for 2 weeks. I just don't care. And besides, I'm telling you, it's true. She is hot. She says thank you. She yawns and stretches. I work pretty hard at it, she says. I say, I know you do. I remember when you won that dance contest. You were amazing. The funny thing about that is that I never thought about winning, she says. I mean, I didn't worry about it. It was like I knew I had it before I ever started. You know what I mean? Like you're in a zone, I say. Exactly, she says. And when the music started, I just got lost in it. I let myself go. You sure did, I say. You should be a model. I tried it once, she said. I went to this agency and they said I was too short. What? Yeah, that's what they said. They said they might have some bra and panties work. I told them no way. I didn't want to do underwear. And they said, you got to start somewhere. I said, no thanks. They're crazy, I said. Swimsuits, she said, looking herself over. I would do swimsuits. You could do swimsuits, I say. You could be in Sports Illustrated. You know, the swimsuit issue? Yeah, well, I'm thinking I'll go to the tryouts for the Eagles cheerleading squad. You'll make it, I say. You're a lock. You really think so, she says. Definitely, I say. That's nice to hear, she says. I'm not just saying it, I say. You're a 10, Shelley. You're an 11 or 12. She laughs. It's very important to my self-image, she says. I can't think of anything to say about that. I didn't expect to get into her self-image. So I say, Randy is a really, really lucky guy, hoping that she might reward some other guy than Lucky Randy. She says, what do you mean by that? I say, because he dates you and all. And all what, she says. What does Randy say about me? Nothing, Shell, I say. Nothing. I mean, he's lucky you're his girl. His girl, she says. Is that what he says? You know, girlfriend, I say, trying to find a way out. You guys go out together. That's all we do, she says. Randy and I had to come to an understanding. I give her a dumb look. Hasn't he told you, she says? I say, no, I told you. He doesn't talk much about you. She says, I believe in abstinence, celibacy, no sex. My jaw did drop. Well, she says, what I really believe is that there is no such thing as a little bit of sex. Once you start, it's just more and more. And I'm too young for a family. I would never go on the pill. I don't believe in condoms. They break and boys don't like to wear them. And I also take this AIDS thing very seriously, don't you? So I decided to wait. And I had to make Randy understand that. And he is very understanding. Yes, I say, that's Randy. And I'm thinking, no wonder the guy never has anything to say. And I'm thinking, how could anybody who looks like this not believe in sex? It's not natural. Women have to take control over their lives, she says. Your body is your destiny, she says. This is my body, and I'm very proud of it. You ought to be, I say. It's a lot to be proud of. Someday, when she gets around to sharing it, if it's in half the condition it is right now, she's going to make some guy the happiest guy in the world. And maybe it'll be Randy. Maybe that's what he's doing, waiting for the big payoff. But I don't know. Right now, I pity him. I don't see how any man could be that understanding. How many cold showers can one guy take? That class we're in together, Introductory Psychology. The other day before I fell asleep, the professor said that sex drives civilization, which got a big rise out of the class. He said that sex drives art, sex drives business. For that matter, sex drives everything. I don't know if it's true, but if it is, I think Shelley is taking civilization down a new and totally unfamiliar road.